Morning, y'all. Today we're gonna change the brake rotors and the brake pads. Hub over rotor. Usually on other cars it's rotor over hub. So changing the brake pads and rotors is a lot easier on other cars than on this one specifically. So what you gotta do is remove the wheel. You gotta remove the wheels, and then you gotta after you're done with that, you gotta take this bolt out, but you got to make sure you press you need a 36 millimeter to take this bolt out. I had to go to Harbor Freight and buy like a whole kit of lug nut removers for a 36 millimeter. So it's a big ass bolt that you got to take off, and you got to make sure someone's pressing the brakes and the car's on so the wheel doesn't spin, because if you don't, then the wheel's gonna spin and you're not gonna be able to take nothing off. These, make sure you loosen them too. Alright, you need a breaker bar. Like, no way around it. Either you have an impact, excuse me, or you have a breaker bar. You can't go without either. So once you loosen it, you're gonna have to wipe this bolt off because it has grease, so it can slide in there. Then you're gonna pull this back and you're just gonna lift the caliper up, and you're gonna push out. Make sure that one's not damaged either. And then before you release it, this is connected to a brake line. You don't want the caliper just hanging from the brake line. So you want to get something to hang the caliper up. You see that rope? I'm hanging it up over there. I'm probably going to have to switch it to this. It's currently 9:40 in the morning. I woke up at like 7 to get this job done. So I'm taking a while, but it's whatever. So once you get the caliper lifted, we can take these brake pads out. Okay, and look at this. No pad on there. Absolutely not a single pad. That's why it's all scratched. The back ones ain't that bad, but it's because the reason I have uneven is because of the tire alignment. Once you get the caliper removed, you can take the brake pads out. And then this one didn't go there. This one went here. Look how no padding on there. That's why it's all scratched. That's why I'm changing the rotors. And then this one was in here. This little metal thing, the one with the metal thing always goes inside, because this is the wear indicator. And when you hear that squeak from your brakes, it's because this is rubbing against the rotor. It's telling you need new brake pads. If you hear that squeak, you gotta get new brake pads. No, I did wait a couple weeks. Had my brakes lock up on me, but you know, yeah. All right, and then you can take this hardware out. But you can just trash it, because most brake pads come with new hardware either way. All right. Okay. So once you take this out, you gotta take this bolt out. But like I said, you gotta hang it from here, because you don't want the caliper hanging from the brake line, because then you can mess up the brake line. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tie it up from here, and yeah, that's what I was doing on the other side. But now I just got a box over there. Make sure you do that. Do not ignore this step. So once you got it on hanging nice and tight, now you can move on to like the other. So move all your hardware. That's junk. So don't even worry about that. You gotta move on to inner bolts. This one and this one. That's from the bottom one. Don't lose them. All right, and then Once you, it shouldn't be this loose. I use the brake bar, but once you use the brake bar to break the bolt loose, what you gotta do is untighten it. Right now you're removing the brake rack, the caliper bracket, not the actual caliper. The caliper is this. Boom, just like that. Bracket's out. I'm gonna paint this one too, so put that over here. These bolts, you don't want to lose them. These are the slide pins. These are this. You gotta make sure you wipe these off. After you remove the brake caliper and brake caliper bracket, next is this castle bolt. This castle nut. It comes with pins. You gotta straighten them out, and then take it out. If you can take it out in one piece, good. If you can't, well then you can just buy another pin. They're inexpensive, so it doesn't really matter. 17mm like the other ones. And you gotta get a breaker bar again because boy is this one hard to break. Right, once you break it with a breaker bar and a ratchet, you just twist it off. Okay. Now this step is the one I like to use. Found it online. I've been using it ever since. Like this isn't the first time. Anyways, you gotta jack up the suspension. Put a, I put a one of these sockets. I put a like big socket, like 1 1/4 socket right here, and then I just let it drop, and then that separates the ball joint. Because if you try to just lift it, you're not gonna be able to. Okay, this is what I was talking about. You get a jack the suspension up, and you put the bolt right here. I mean the socket right here, and you let it drop, and that separates it. Fourth. Just squeeze it on there. Nope. And you just let it drop. And there we go. It's separated. Now, to take the thing off, you don't have to re-jack up this suspension. Oh shit. Okay. And then take there we go. Take this off, because now the thing's separated. Lift this up. Put to the side. Okay. Still jacked up, so you're still good. And then you wanna remove the axle. So once you take this is where the castle nut was. The castle nut. Once you take that off, next step is pulling this out. So you're gonna wanna lift this up. Now that it's separated from the ball joint, you can lift it up, side, like turn it this way, so you can get this out. If it's hard, if you're gonna replace your rotors, just hit it with a hammer. If you're not, I don't know what to tell you, man. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what to tell you. The other side I got out easily. I didn't have to hammer nothing, but this side it was like all roted in here, so I had to take it out. Also, if you don't want that, you want to prevent that from happening in the future, make sure you put axle grease on your axle, and some in here too. But now it's just removing these, and then that's it. I was at this step. So once you remove the castle bolt and then you remove it from the ball joint, You gotta twist this off. The 12 millimeter. And then you just twist these off. They're a little like green color. Well, at least on my car. It might be a different color for yours, but I don't know, to be honest. Right. You have to break these loose too. But yeah. I'll get back to y'all when I take on. I'm sure this from the other machine, but no. Okay. Take these bolts out. These are. Actually, I forgot the measurements. I know they're 100 millimeters. 1.25 times. I don't even remember, but you need these bolts to get it off. Or you can go to AutoZone or O'Reilly's and rent like a two from them. Just know if you rent from those places, you have to pay full price for the two, right? But obviously they're gonna give it back. It's like a deposit if you return it. The thing with that though is, oh, don't thread these on all the way. They're long bolts. But I'm gonna make sure to put the measurement on the when I edit it. Once you thread these in, you're gonna damn. Okay. You're gonna hammer them out. You're gonna go in a crisscross pattern. Because if you just hit one bolt, you might push it too far. Like, say you hit this bolt too many times, it might push it in, and then you're not gonna be able to get it out if you don't have the special tool. So, if you want to go rent the tool, you can. I was just showing you a method that I use. That way you don't have to go to the store. I'm record myself hitting it. That way I know not to be scared while hitting the bolt. Just like that, it's out. Oh, look. Show you how it does it. It's all one cut too. But okay. So you hitting these bolts pushes the thing out, and because it's threaded on there, it's not gonna damage the threads, you know. Okay, now with your hub out and your rotor out, you want to sand this down, and you want to sand this inner ring down. Okay, now that you remove all the 4 bolts, just lift this up. I'm replacing my rotor, so I don't need that. I don't need to worry about sanding that down or nothing, taking off the rust. This I do because I'm not replacing the wheel barrel. So what you're gonna want to sand is the actual ring, this, a little bit of this, really everything except this. You don't want to sand this, really. Yeah. Boom. This is what it's supposed to look like when you finish sanding. If it don't look like this, keep sanding, boy. No, I'm trolling. Don't mind the mess, but those are the caliber brackets I'm painting. All these damn shop towels. And then that's my new rotor right there. It's in plastic, so don't go, oh, why'd you put it on concrete? On plastic, buddy. Alright. Once it's sanded like this, you did a good job. Pat yourself on the back. Now you're gonna clean this off with brake clean. Where's my brake clean? I have no idea. I'll tell you. All this work was just for the rotors. I haven't even got to the calipers yet. Calipers not that hard though. You want to clean everything off. Okay, now the rotor, fresh out the packaging, they come wrapped in like this grease. I don't know what it is. Don't drop the rotor. That's why, don't drop the rotor. Okay. No. I'm gonna put this camera down, but I'm gonna explain what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use the brake clean and clean this, and then use a shop towel or a microfiber towel, depending on what you have, to wipe down all that. You see that? The oils. All that's to keep it from rusting. Now, after you clean it with brake dust. Damn, I can't talk. Brake cleaner. You don't want to touch the part that the pad's gonna touch, because you don't want any grease, oil, or nothing like that. My hands are still kind of dirty. I cleaned them, but they're still kind of dirty. So be careful with that. All right. Grab you some brake cleaner. Spray it on the back side too. Okay, and wipe it down. Then you're gonna put the rotor down from the front side. You know, have the front side. The front side's the one with the little it's higher than the back. The back's like indented. This one's sticking out. You're gonna put the oil hub back on there, and then you're gonna line it up with the screws. If it's not lined up, it's gonna look like this. Line it up with the screws. You're gonna screw the bolts. Took out the old rotor. And put them in the new one. Oh wait, this is not the bolt. Okay, now to actually get these bolts, to get these bolts on there, you have to tilt it up. This shit's clean. You're gonna have to tilt it up to like have basically the rotor and the hub flushed, so you can screw them. Because you don't want to screw them on there and like, if this is laying down flat and you're trying to screw it on there, it's not gonna align correctly. You don't want that on your brakes. Then you're gonna turn these. There you go. Let me grab my wrench. Second wrench. And then you're gonna tighten these. Alright guys, I didn't record this part because it's kind of hard to record since it's only me. But I think new rotor's on. The way I did it is, you'll see it, the same pattern that's back. Look. See this pattern? See how it's like, see how these two are like this? They're closer together than these two. That same pattern is on the hub. You line that up with how it looks right here. Short one's on this side, long one's on this side. You put them on, and then you screw the bolts on while you're holding it by the wheel stud. Okay. Now, this is what I was talking about, it being flush. This right here, it's supposed to be flush with this. So you're gonna have to crisscross, just how you crisscross them to take it out, you're gonna crisscross them to put it back. And you're gonna tighten them. And when you tighten them, it's gonna bring it closer and closer and closer. You don't wanna over tighten it. You also don't want it too loose. You want it just right. Okay. That's just, now that you tighten them, see how it's flushed? That's what you want. So put some axle grease on it and then slap it back in there. And there you go. Now you have new rotors. Make sure the axle is all the way through. And yeah, that's about it. Next step is putting your castle nut back in. Now this castle nut with a stud is kind of hard to put in there, but
Let me see what's on it. Should not be hard, but scroll back in.
17 millimeter. That's what you're gonna need. You just want to. Now, obviously, these need to be torqued, but you want to screw it on there in a way you can still put the pin through. All right, guys. Now that you're, and like I said, I'm just doing this so it doesn't rust. It's not really for cosmetics looks. So I don't really care if the paint job's good or not. You can grab the bolts that you use to take the caliper off, and then once these find their thread, they're not hard to thread in. You are gonna have to use a breaker bar or a torque wrench to really tighten them, or 1.5 wrench to really, like, you want them snug. But I'm being honest, I finished without recording. But it's hard to record and do the work at the same time and try to not mess up. So, all right. So, what I did was, I opened up the brake, the container where the brake fluid's at, and I compressed the piston back, because in here there's pistons that come up as the brake pads wear. And then so I opened it and then I compressed them down with the old brake pad and a clamp wrench. And basically what you want to do is just do this. Well, it's all the way open now, but you just want to compress it in and then put the brake pads in. But when you put the brake pads in, you want to put brake lubricant. It either comes with it or you got to buy it. And then this is silicone paste, and I put that on the pins, right here on the pins. Remember I showed y'all to just light it out? Yeah, you got to put it on both pins, the lubricant. And then that's it. Guys, it came out clean. It did take me 2 days, but I mean, yesterday wasn't even like a full day because I had the party to go to. But yeah. Now, when you hop in the car, you gotta press your brakes a couple times so the brake fluid goes through all the brake lines. All right, because if you just go and drive, you're gonna have a really hard time braking and you might get into an accident. But yeah, man, that's it. That's everything. Peace.